Hi guys,
How's it going, everybody? I'm David Orland Brown.
I'm Chelsae Zirna, and we're gonna dive into my story, starting from May of 2010. So, I was just graduating high school, and I really thought that I was gonna go and be a doctor. And I had spent my entire senior year going and shadowing doctors and nurses. And then I got this letter in the mail on July 7th. And it said, do you want to make $15 an hour? It was just this random letter. And I was like, well, I need to pay for college, so I'm just going to call them and see what happens. I called them up and go for an interview, get the job that day. And I ended up taking a job selling Cutco cutlery, the kitchen knives. So I did that the whole summer. And originally I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I can go and visit doctors and see what kind of doctor they are and talk to them about what they're doing with their lives. And I realized that I loved sales in that process. I loved selling, I loved business. And so instead of going to school to be a doctor, I ended up starting that semester with going into business. And the next summer I was promoted to be an assistant manager. So I moved out 2 hours away from home. I was 19 years old, 18 years old.
Where's home?
In Buffalo, New York. And I moved out to this random place called Elmira, New York.
Okay.
And it's where the Corning Glass Museum is there. It's where they make glass.
Nice.
And we started up this a district office for Cutco, vector marketing. We ended up hiring, 100 people, 100 college kids. And then the next 2 summers in a row.
Who's we?
Me and this girl, Desiree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you and one other person started a 100-person company.
100, branch of the business, yes.
Wow.
So it was amazing. It was fun. And then the next summer, I ended up moving to Ithaca, New York, and opening up my own. And then I moved to Parkersburg, West Virginia, and opened up another one. And I loved it. And that was when I first realized what coaching was. I discovered the coaching profession, but I didn't know there was a term for it at the time. I knew about Tony Robbins, but I thought it was just for people that were, celebrities that were doing this. And so I was coaching in my own way. I was coaching college kids who didn't believe they could ever sell anything. Probably had a lot of times they had family members that didn't believe in them. Sometimes they weren't going to college. My first year I was at Ithaca, so I had kids that were going to Cornell University. My next year I was in Parkersburg, West Virginia. A lot of those kids weren't graduating high school. And so it was a very different demographic, and coaching both of them, there were tons of different people at all of those offices, but I coached them very differently. They were motivated by different things. And that's when I realized, I love this profession. I love doing this. So I go to college. I end up going to University of Georgia, graduate college, and the whole time I'm like, I want to be a consultant. This is what I've been working for. I want to be in strategy. I want to go into big business. I told my dad, I was like, I want to dress in a business suit, kick my feet up on the desk, and stare out at the city. That was my vision of what I wanted.
It's a beautiful vision.
At 21 years old. And I got a job at IBM as a consultant. And I started working at IBM. I was doing strategy consulting, moved into design thinking, and I loved it up until about year 2, and I still hadn't met my manager. So I was working at this company. I was getting no personal development, no growth. And I came from a company where the entire thing was just infused with personal development. Your manager invests so much time and energy into you, and I invest so much time in my people. And it's just this culture of constantly personal development and growth. And at IBM, I had not spoken to my manager since day one. And we get an annual review, and she'll call you up on the phone and she'll say, oh, how'd you do this year? And it was just not, and then we were paid based on that rating that she gave us. So she never spoke to us, and it was frustrating. I wasn't growing, and I also wasn't coaching. And finally, in 2014, I finally said it out loud that I wanted to be a coach. Up until that point, I had just thought about it, and I was really embarrassed by it.
What made you say it out loud?
Someone asked me in a car ride, it was Tom Lautenbach, we were driving in the car, and he said, what do you want to do? Like, what is it that you want to do next? And his dad was in the running to be CEO of IBM, so he was going into, like, his family members were at IBM, Legacy, and I was like, I don't see myself here. I love what I've learned, and I really, really respect, like, the people are so intelligent. Like, it's an amazing, like, I was surrounded by great people, but I wanted to coach. And I said it out loud for the first time in that car ride, and I was embarrassed to say it. I was like, is this okay? Am I too young? Does it sound crazy that I want to do this? And it made me be comfortable. It got me comfortable saying it more and more. And then I started saying it to my family. I want to coach. And the feedback I got was, what do you know about coaching? You're a 20-something-year-old kid. Like, why would you do that? And so it wasn't positive feedback.
Right.
But then more and more podcasts were coming out. And in 2014 or 15, Kayla Itzines came out with her workouts, and a bunch of women started posting their pictures online of their transformations, and then all of a sudden people started becoming health coaches and fitness coaches. I was like, if they can do that, I can become a life coach. Like, these people are in their 20s, I can do this. And so 2016 passed, 2017 passed, and by 2017, I remember sitting around in this pool talking to my friends, and I was like, I want to be a life coach. And they were like, I was like, I want to do this. And they were like, all right, we're going to introduce you to somebody. He can get you in the entrepreneurial world, get your feet wet. And I said, great. So they introduced me to Dave Williams, who introduced me to Matt Thomas. And I had a coffee with Matt, and he was like, I started this thing called Brawl for a Cause. Do you think you'd want to be interested? And he goes, I also started an Instagram company, and I need help with the finances. Like, do you want to help me start it? And I was like, sure. So I randomly started this Instagram business on the side, and I started getting involved in Brawl. And that's how I started really getting my feet wet in this whole thing. And so we decided to, at the same time, Mercedes-Benz. So this was like the biggest year of Brawl. Mercedes-Benz calls, we're in contact with them, and they say, we want to host Brawl for a Cause in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And it went from a hotel ballroom to the biggest stadium in America. And it was an entire spiral, and it was exciting, and it was like, I would go to my job at IBM, and I would leave IBM, and I'd be like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to do Brawl, and I was still, it brought back memories of me running my office and training all these people, and I had all these brawlers now that I was able to motivate and inspire and, like, get everybody ready to brawl and get on stage, going from never boxing in their life to getting on stage in front of thousands of people, in front of their friends and family, getting punched in the face. It was this moment of like, man, I have my sales reps back again. And I really liked that. I like pouring into people and developing people. And so